wow, this is a good example of a good governor. Imagine, he don't know, say, people don't stay for us for this COVID-19 wahala. And he can reason and say, e no good, maybe say, they no go get work when work can resume. He can vow to give 5,000 youth work. My God. My people, before I will continue, good morning, my wonderful people. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on wherever you are watching me from or whenever you come across this video. I remain your humble girl, Anointed Lady TV. Please, if today is the first time of coming across my channel or you've been watching me, you've not subscribed, please today consider hitting that red button where they wrote subscribe and put on the bell so that you'll be seeing more of my updates.
Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has expressed optimism that the state's $12 million cassava processing initiative will create jobs and enhance the gross domestic product of the country.
And that will lead to a lot of employment. Like you said, buying up produce from our farmers. Can you imagine where you are buying up produce from 3,000 farmers? Now see the multiplier effect of that. Now see where you have set up something like this, that 3,000 people who are not your staff, but who are doing business with you. You buying up all their produce. You can imagine what will happen. And other indirect jobs that will come in from there. And this is a key for us to move forward.
The governor urged the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, and the Federal Ministry of Agriculture to support the initiative to boost food security, create jobs, and earn foreign exchange for the country. Governor Wike said this during a meeting with the board of the Rivers Cassava Processing Company Limited at the Government House, Port Harcourt, on Tuesday.
We have written for 5 billion naira for us to boost agriculture. Assuming, for example, the grant does that through. And then we put in that kind of money, half of the money, into this type of project. Do you know what the kind of employment that it will create?
Explained that the state government ought to enjoy support of the CBN in its endeavor to boost food production and reduce importation of cassava products, particularly processed starch, into the country.
Well, thank God we started it and we have gone this far. Whatever it is, that God will help us to create employment for our people. It's a major feat we have achieved.
According to him, if the Rivers Cassava Processing Company is encouraged, the country's dependence on import cassava product will drastically reduce.
Okay, but today, from what we have seen now, that if you are being strengthened, if you are being encouraged, you may be one of the few companies in Nigeria that are producing that will produce for cassava flour. And with so many companies who are interested to buy in from.
The governor regretted that the CBN has failed to accede to Rivers State government request for $5 billion to boost the agricultural sector in the state. He noted that if part of the $5 billion is invested in the Rivers Cassava Processing Initiative, it will create jobs and reduce unemployment rate. He suggested that the state government's 70% equity in the company should be divested to encourage private sector participation and minimize government interference in the affairs of the company.
Part of the problems we have had is business is being run as government owned. When it's run by God, that's why I'm afraid 70% for government. Because that means government to begin to interfere in the whole process. I think the whole thing is for that to produce job, So we'll find a way where we can even develop a lot of government interest so that it will not die. To not die. But when you have private investors who are interested in investing in this, it will be better.
The Rivers State Commissioner of Agriculture, Dr. Fred Parkle, explained that the multi-million-dollar cassava processing plant located at Afam in Oyibo local government area has the capacity to process 45,000 metric tons of cassava tuber to produce 12,500 metric tons of high-quality cassava flour.
The company, when completed, has the capacity to turn 75,000 metric tons of cassava tubers to be processed into 12,500 metric tons of cassava flour for both local and international use.
Parkle added that the plan will create over 3,000 jobs and that in the medium term, the company will add starch to its products as well as glucose in the future.
And has the potential to put the youth out of the streets by way of employment. It will also generate foreign exchange for the state and enhance our GDP.
The managing director of the company, Ruben Gessen, said the facility will run on environment-friendly power from River State Independent Power Plant in Afam, thus setting the pace for industrialization of the area.
It is also important to remember at this point that the cost of infrastructure is not limited to the turbines we install. It goes down to transmission, stepping down, and even the low voltage equipment to get the power suitable to use electricity into your machines. This is an investment that cannot be ignored.
Gessen said the state government and its partners, the Netherlands Embassy in Nigeria and Shell Petroleum Development Company, SPDC, have keyed into cassava production policy of the federal government.
Keeping fingers crossed, we should, by the end of November, see the first bag of cassava flour come out. That is where we are today.
The external relations manager of SPDC, Mr. Igo Wali, explained that Shell has already invested $3.6 million into the project as a mark of its commitment to boost food security and enhance job creation in the state.
Shell has put in so far $3.6 million into this project.
River State Executive Council has approved the employment of 5,000 youths into the state civil service. The approval was given during its meeting on Wednesday, 28th October 2020, which was presided over by the Governor, Nyesom Wike, and held at the Government House Port Harcourt on Wednesday. Briefing journalists after the meeting, the State Commissioner for Employment, Generation and Empowerment, Mr. Sylvanus Wanko, said that the youths must not be more than 35 years. He said there are existing vacancies in the civil service needing engineers, lawyers, medical doctors, technicians, and other fields of profession that these youths would fill.
The River State Executive Council met today, the 28th day of October 2020, and chaired by the Executive Governor of River State. The Council agreed that 5,000 youths be employed in the River State Civil Service in the existing vacancies that exist in the civil service. These youths will not be more than 35 years of age. This will include lawyers, technicians, teachers, medical doctors, and other fields of endeavor.
Also addressing journalists, the Commissioner for Information and Communications, Polaris Insurim, said the recruitment drive undertaken by the Wike administration will cushion the employment gap in the state. Insurim also said that the council approved that civil servants that were asked to stay back at home during the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown are to resume work on Monday, 2nd November 2020.
Civil servants on grade level 1 to 10 who have been at home since the COVID-19 are to resume work on Monday, November 2nd. Similarly, bars that have been closed down since the COVID-19 are to open, while nightclubs will remain closed.
According to the Commissioner, Council also approved a minor cabinet reshuffle that has moved to the Commissioner for Chieftaincy and Community Affairs to take charge of the Ministry of Works. He said the current Commissioner for Works will now head the Ministry of Urban Development and Fiscal Planning, while the Commissioner he is replacing moves to the Ministry of Transport. Insurim stated that the current Commissioner for Transport will now be in charge of the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Community Affairs.
The State Executive Council also approved a minor cabinet reshuffle. Under the new arrangement, the Commissioner for Chieftaincy and Community Affairs moves to Minister of Works. The Commissioner for Works moves to Minister of Urban Development. The Commissioner for Urban Development is now the new Commissioner for Transport, while the Commissioner for Transport now occupies the Chieftaincy and Community Affairs portfolio.
The Information Commissioner also said Council decided that the Rebisi flyover will be commissioned on 7th November 2020 by the Minister of Work, Babatunde Fashola SAN. Insirim informed that the public bars that were closed for business due to the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic are now to open, while nightclubs will remain closed.
The Rebisi flyover will be commissioned on the 7th of November 2020 by the Honorable Minister for Works, His Excellency Babatunde Fashola. These are some of the decisions that were taken by the State Executive Council today.
On his part, the Commissioner for Youths, Prince Ohia, said the council approval for the employment of 5,000 youths shows that Governor Wike is youth-friendly.
Just today, the Executive Council has approved and directed the employment of 5,000 youths not above the age of 35 into the state civil service. I think this is a welcome development. It goes a long way to show that the government of the day, our amiable governor, Chief Barrister Yesom Ezewo Wike, is youth-friendly and wants the youth to be developed. Thank you very much.